who better than me?
Welcome back to yet another episode of the Hardcore Casual with your boy, Base the Kid. What's that? 2 in a day? It's not the usual turnaround, but hey, there's things to talk about. So, as always, thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. Anyone who hasn't, please click that subscribe button and the notification bell just so you get the updates of when these videos are dropping. Don't have a set schedule at the moment apart from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's normally 1 or 2 up at those times. But yeah, a few other bits and pieces to talk about. Some stuff that I did talk about yesterday but I had to cut out of the video just due to time or the quality of the recording. So certain things I'll just talk about again real quick, give my take and keep it moving. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so look, before I start properly, I didn't really want to talk about the whole Ukraine and Russia thing because realistically, and I'm gonna be honest, I ain't know a huge amount. Like obviously I know the conflict and I've got a rough idea of what it's over, but I didn't really delve deep into it. I don't tend to follow that kind of news. I probably should. It's just, you know, sometimes you feel like your life is stressful enough without kind of worrying about that. But ultimately, look, while it's not boxing related as such, like it's a serious issue right now. Like, you gotta pray for the families who are stuck in the Ukraine at the moment, who, you know, are getting shot upon, being rallied down by Russian troops. I'm not necessarily gonna say they're bad or whatnot because they're doing their job, I suppose. I don't agree with what's going on. I see Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko over there saying, look, we're ready to join the front line if necessary. Usyk's gone over there with, I guess his family was over there, so he's gone back to them. He's trying to make sure whatever needs to happen, like does happen while he's there. No idea how that affects the AJ rematch, nor do I particularly care at this moment because some things are bigger than boxing. I did see an interview with Eddie Hearn saying that it shouldn't affect anything, but I mean, you got Lomachenko's out in Greece in a monastery at the moment. You got Usyk looking like he's ready to be on the front lines. Vladimir Vitaly Klitschko, like, them guys there are built different. Gotta respect that. Regardless of how people felt about them or feel about them in their boxing careers, you know, patriotism or whatnot, yeah, that needs to end. So my prayers is with them. I hope that all gets resolved. I hope, you know, Russia withdraw their troops, and I hope all the families over there stay safe. And most importantly, I hope that, you know, like I said, the Klitschkos and Usyk, I hope they remain safe and can get back to doing what they love to do: run the country, be an influencer, be an elite level athlete. I wanted to get that off the way. Now, yeah, onto the main topics. So yesterday I did speak a little bit about the Triple G and Andre Ward exchange that was happening over Twitter. Now, admittedly, I don't know the full timeline of the story, and it's not something I'm necessarily interested in doing the research on. What I do know is that Andre Ward did make an offer to Triple G. I don't know whether it was after Triple G already had the David Lemieux fight signed or not, but what doesn't seem right within the whole story that Andre Ward's giving is that he was prepared to do the Triple G fight at a catch weight of 164 when he'd been out of the ring at this point for 2 years. And he came back, he didn't even come back in the super middleweight division. He came back at, like, I think it was 172 pounds when he came back to the ring. So I'm now wondering, like, where are you gonna strip off this 8 pounds to meet Triple G at the catch weight of 164. Didn't make much sense. So I don't know. To me, that seems like there's a little bit of misdirection, a little bit of, you know, fudging the numbers. Yeah, it seems a bit far-fetched in my opinion. However, on the flip side, there's also a valid argument to say that Triple G handpicked several opponents in place of others. For instance, I know that the Carl Froch fight at one point was an option, but he didn't want to go up to 168 to take that. If the 164 catchweight thing with Ward is to be believed as well, then that's another one he turned down. But he was prepared to go down to 154 pounds to go and fight Floyd Mayweather. And the whole first half of his career was predicated on essentially bringing up guys from the weight class below. And, you know, I mean, let's be real, he dispatched of people effectively. But when you're not necessarily fighting your weight class for the majority of the time, and you're not taking the challenges from the legacy guys above you, can we really then say that you're as great as you claim? So there's definitely faults on both sides of that. So while I don't have the full facts, like, I can see that I feel like the tweet that Ward put out was cappish, but I also feel like Triple G didn't really cover himself in glory during that period of time either. So yeah, both of them need to do better. You know, Ward just celebrated her birthday, so happy belated to him, but like, he's mad bitter these days about a lot of things, and it's hard for him to separate that. And I feel like he needs to just let go of some of that energy. Like, you had a good career in it, so the fact that people didn't classify you as number one pound for pound or whatever, it shouldn't really matter. You made good money. You got to fight the majority of your fights in your hometown. Okay, you didn't really do that great on pay-per-view, but you fought good fights, you know. Froch fight, great. The two Kovalev fights, I mean, okay, people think you may have lost the first one. You came back, you ran it back, and you cleared that up in the second. Like, yeah, I'll just leave the bitterness. That's all I really got to say about it. I'm gonna leave that one there. I'm gonna move on to the next topic. I won't spend too much time on this one, purely because we don't have any new information as of yet. But Terri Harper, who's gonna be on the Wood Conlan card in Nottingham on the 12th of March, which I will be attending. She is now looking for a new opponent because Heather Hardy has damaged her wrist. I saw the picture, it was quite nasty looking, so she can no longer compete, which is a shame. I was kind of looking forward to that fight because, you know, regardless of what anyone says, Heather Hardy, she comes to bring it. She's tough from what I can remember. I don't think she's ever been stopped before. So it definitely would have been a good test for Terri Harper going up to 135, even though you know, Heather Hardy initially was fighting at like featherweight, but yeah, she said she's too old to make that weight anymore, and rather than just jumping up to 130, she just went straight to 135. So cool. I'll wait to see who Terri Harper's next opponent is, then I can give some further opinion. And that women's video that I said I was going to do, it is coming. I think I'm actually going to be able to do it this week. I do have a bit more spare time popping up, so I definitely will be attributing some time to some of the best and brightest in the UK, in the US, and in a couple other places around the globe. All right, next one. Well, it's official. Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte will now be taking place at Wembley Stadium, the 90,000 seater, on the 23rd of April. And my thoughts on that, as I said in a previous video, I'm sure a lot of you will remember me saying this because I've said it numerous times, to be fair. That fight doesn't sell out Wembley. I think they will struggle to get 60,000 people in that venue. I've always said that I feel like that's the cap to what that fight could possibly do. It's not a huge crossover fight. Contrary to what a lot of people seem to believe, like Tyson Fury is not a huge crossover star, nor is Dillian Whyte for that matter. You know, what was it, British Bake Off or whatever it was that Dillian Whyte done, that doesn't get him through to the mass audience. Or was it MasterChef? It probably MasterChef. And then, you know, Tyson Fury with what, couple books. Yeah, the WWE thing. Yeah, that doesn't appeal to people outside of certain demographics. So I don't see it. I always said the only stadium I could see that fight doing well in would have been like a Stamford Bridge, which is about a 40,000 seat stadium, 35 to 40,000. Like that to me is a good number for them, and you would have got your stadium fight. But with the amount of money they spent on this thing, like they need somewhere, I guess, with that kind of capacity. But they're gonna end up comping at least 25% of the tickets if they want the whole thing full. So I mean, hey, so far Dillian still ain't saying nothing. He's on his Instagram, you just see him in the gym training. Fury's gone quiet again, as you know, as I said yesterday. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to just the next twists and turns in this saga, to be totally honest. I don't expect it to be anything untoward. I expect the fight to take place, and I expect to see, again, a half-empty stadium, or a stadium that's topped off around the top. Or maybe we get some clever camera angles to mask certain parts of the arena. I mean, hey, if I'm wrong, yeah, good for them. 90,000 is a big achievement. I mean, I don't think Joshua did the full 60,000 in his last fight with Usyk. Nor was the Principality full when he fought Joseph Parker for the unification bout. Like, it was full, but it wasn't rammed. Like, there was many people scalping and trying to scalp tickets outside the stadium before the fight. And when I was in there, I remember there were like seats scattered around with no one in them, and they weren't just going to go and get food and drink. So I mean, if AJ ain't totally ramming out these venues, I don't see Tyson Fury doing it when he's not on the same level commercially. But again, that's all for another time. Ultimately, they've got Wembley. They've decided to fork out the money for it. Good luck to them, and I hope they don't, lose too much, because then we'll probably never get another big fight from that side of the team again. But hey, it is what it is. Okay, let's see if I've got anything else I want to address. So while it hasn't been rubber stamped yet, it looks like it's official that Canelo Alvarez will be fighting Dmitry Bivol on the 7th of May. Probably in Las Vegas, as I think Bivol's literally just gone out to the US to start his training camp. Now this fight, to me, is a great fight. I think, like most people have said, stylistically, Bivol will probably cause Canelo the most problems because of his movement, his speed, his technique and his accuracy. I won't go into any predictions for that fight as of yet, but yeah, that fight, it's a good one, and I feel like of all the options that were on the table, it's probably the best one as a first go round, because if you think about it, it's the only one that comes with a title. It's gonna come with good money as well. I mean, if you compare the Bivol fight to the Charlo fight, I know which one I'm picking, and that's got absolutely nothing to do with any anti-PBC antics or whatever. It's just, if Charlo comes up, he's coming up to be a voluntary for undisputed at 168, having not actually done anything to deserve it. At least Bivol's bringing something to the table. And if I was Canelo, I'd say because Bivol's always said I can come down to 168. I'd tell him to come down to 168, not for any like advantage type purposes, but I'd be like, you know what? All right, come down to 168. Put your title on the line. I'll put all of these on the line. Make it a big 5-belt unification. I feel like that would be pretty cool. If Bivol could make it comfortably, if I was him, that's what I'd negotiate. All right, let's do it at 168, but I want your titles on the line as well as my one. And I'm sure the sanctioning bodies would allow it. You know, to me, that seems like a nice one. The Triple G fight is then supposed to be scheduled after, provided that he does get past Murata. I believe that fight's been rescheduled for April. So if that is the case, then Triple G's got something to work towards. Bob Arum has said that if Canelo doesn't go for the winner of Joe Smith Jr. versus Artur Beterbiev, then he's assured Frank Warren that Anthony Yarde can have the winner of that fight in the full time, so around October, November. But knowing Canelo, I reckon that if he gets past the Bivol fight, he might just forego the Triple G trilogy, pull it on the back burner, and then go for that, that other unification, that other undisputed, and get that over with by the end of 2022. Or maybe take the Triple G fight and then fight again and offer one of those guys the fight in December, which would still stop Anthony Yarde from being able to, to fight for it. Because ultimately, if he says, look, I'm taking this fight, then we can go, I'm pretty sure they would wait the extra month or two. But I guess ultimately you could maybe let Anthony Yarde have his chance, and if he wins, then Canelo fights him for undisputed over here, or maybe A sides him and says, yo, no, you gotta come to my sides. So many combinations, but the first fight seems to be official, and things are shaping up rather nicely at this point in time for the months of April and May. So hey, long may it continue, and good stuff. So this weekend we've got two fairly decent fight cards on. One on Boxer Sky Sports with Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall, and the other on DAZN on Sunday, which is Lawrence Okolie versus Michael Cieslak. I will be doing prediction videos after this. So the first half will be focused on obviously Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. They had their weigh-in earlier on today, so I'll talk about that in the next video. Then you will probably see me change clothes, because the second part of that video I will be doing based on the weigh-in that Lawrence Okolie and Michael Cieslak have tomorrow, which will be Saturday. And that video will be coming out about 6 p.m, just to make sure it makes the Saturday portion of this weekend's event. I think there might be a PBC card on that night as well. I need to double check. I'm trying to work out when Gary Antoine Russell is fighting. I'll need to check that one, but I will do. And my normal Sunday wrap up will take place on Monday morning. Now it will either be Monday morning or it will be Tuesday morning, because I can't have it overlapping with Monday Night Smoke or anything else that normally I'm a part of. So yeah, look for the wrap up video first thing on a Monday or first thing on Tuesday if I don't get it done in time for Monday. But for now, I'm going to leave that here. There was like I said, there's a few bits for me to talk about, but nothing particularly huge. look out for the next video after this one, dropping Saturday around about 6 p.m. All right, now thanks for watching, and as always, Hardcore Casual out.